speaking of moments, you've been, as you mentioned, your career with the Fever. First six, though, were tough, obviously. They weren't as easy.
What's up, basketball fans? After months of silence, Kelsey Mitchell just dropped the most explosive statement about Caitlin Clark that has the entire WNBA shook. And trust me, what she said wasn't just praise, it was a complete game changer that could rewrite how we talk about women's basketball forever.
As to what's been the big turnaround? How have you viewed the way?
But before we dive into her exact words, smash that like button if you're ready for some unfiltered WNBA truth. For months, Kelsey Mitchell has been giving us those polished, generic interviews.
And then you bring in Caitlin, who changed the world, changed the dynamic of basketball. And as a friend and as a player, you better appreciate her because, certain doors have opened because she's come to the Fever, and you have to respect that. And I love the teammate and person in her because she's accepted it with so much grace and even welcomed us with open arms to, make this thing happen. So I think it just took a lot of big pieces.
You know the type. Safe answers, media-trained responses, nothing controversial. But that all changed when she finally opened up about her Indiana Fever teammate. And here's why this matters so much. Mitchell isn't just another player. She's literally the franchise survivor. While other players were padding stats against Indiana during their worst years, Mitchell was the one lone flame keeping this franchise alive. Think about this. She carried a roster that won just 5 games in an entire season. She endured 5 different coaches in 8 years. She was pushing that boulder uphill every single night, watching opponents treat games against Indiana like a night off.
You've changed the world in so many ways. You've done it with so much grace. And I'm so happy to take the floor with you, to be a part of this experience. I want to tell you to give yourself some grace, kid. You've done a lot of things that not a lot of people can do. And from me to you, I'm always going to be a fan. I'm always going to be in your corner. I'm always going to be in your backcourt.
So when this player, the one who lived through the absolute basement of the WNBA, finally speaks up about Caitlin Clark, you better believe it carries weight. So what exactly did she say? Mitchell looked straight into that camera and delivered this absolute truth bomb. You bring in Caitlin, who changed the world, changed the dynamic of basketball. As a friend and as a player, you grow to appreciate her because certain doors have opened because she's come to the Fever, and you have to respect that. Let that sink in. Change the world. Change the dynamic of basketball. This isn't casual compliment territory, people. This is a seismic statement from someone who could have easily been bitter about the whole situation. The cornerstone of the Fever, the one who fought through years of irrelevance, just looked at the camera and essentially said, without Caitlin, none of this happens. The sellouts, the primetime games, the international coverage, all of it. But here's what makes this truly powerful. Listen to Mitchell's tone. There's zero jealousy, no bitterness, not even a hint of resentment. Just pure, genuine respect. I love the teammate and person in her because she's accepted it with so much grace and even welcomed us with open arms to make this thing happen. This is huge, guys. In a league where we've seen veterans throw shade, looking at you, Aja Wilson, and Cheryl Swoops, Mitchell completely flipped the script. She didn't diminish herself in the process either. She reminded everyone that she was the one laying the foundation that Clark would eventually stand on. Mitchell didn't just acknowledge Clark's impact. She elevated it while simultaneously reaffirming her own legacy. That's not surrender. That's balance. That's leadership. Now here's where it gets personal.
But like, you've been with Indiana through the thick and thin. You've been with them since, like we was talking, like we about to go get our rhythm on Indiana. You've been there, you stuck through until now being in the semifinals. What does that feel like? And for people watching, like girls, boys, if they athletes, not athletes, what does it feel like to stick through something and now see it come into full force?
Mitchell didn't just call Clark a teammate, she called her a friend. And in professional sports, Where egos collide and rivalries poison team chemistry, friend isn't a casual label. She even shared this perfect story about Clark's infamous fine tweet. Remember when Caitlin joked about being fined $200 for stepping on the court? Critics went crazy, calling it arrogant and immature. But Mitchell? She laughed. She said it showcased Clark's humor that the public rarely sees. Quote, "You just have to know Cece to know that it's nothing but love coming from that kid." That right there tells you everything about their locker room chemistry. If Clark were resented, that tweet would have caused drama. Instead, it became another example of genuine team bonding. And here's the most intimidating part for the rest of the league. Mitchell hinted she'd take a pay cut to keep this core together.
Look, you guys have been plagued with injuries, including to Caitlin,
Yeah.
but you have the best sideline in the league, I feel like, right now. What does it mean to get that support during the postseason from the crew?
Oh, man, it's unbelievable. And I think the best part about it is that we have vet experience when it comes to Sydney Carlson. And she's a winner and she's a champion. And then you have people like Caitlin, who's a PG and can pass the ball. And so when I come on the sideline, I get feedback from some of the best players in the league. And so I don't take those moments for granted either, because I feel like it's a chance to see the game in a different route. And I get to, get to talk to them from a level of just them having confidence in me to make plays. So I love it. It's a good experience to have.
In today's Get the Bag era, that's revolutionary. Think about it. Mitchell's lethal scoring, Clark's generational talent, Boston's post-dominance, Hull's relentless grit. This isn't just a playoff team. This is a dynasty blueprint. Mitchell sees the writing on the wall. The Fever aren't just climbing out of the basement. They're about to own the penthouse. And she wants to be part of that revolution, not just as a witness, but as an architect. While Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and jealous veterans spend time downplaying Clark's impact, Indiana is busy building something real, something sustainable, something historic. Mitchell's comments weren't just an endorsement. They were a manifesto. She was saying that Caitlin Clark has fundamentally altered women's basketball, and she's all in on being part of that revolution.